From downtown Bakersfield, 23 ABC News at 11 starts now.
Hollywood actors Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson just announced on social media that they have tested positive for the new coronavirus. The World Health Organization now calling the outbreak of COVID-19 a pandemic, as thousands more cases pop up around the world and here many in the U.S. Many more communities are canceling events and public gatherings as the president addresses the nation. ABC's Inez de la Cuerta is in Washington with the latest.
Tonight, President Trump suspending all travel from Europe to the U.S. for the next 30 days starting on Friday, though the U.K. will not be affected.
We made a life-saving move with early action on China. Now we must take the same action with Europe.
Trump also announcing he's taking emergency action to provide workers financial relief.
This will be targeted for workers who are ill, quarantined, or caring for others due to coronavirus.
As the World Health Organization declares a global pandemic for the first time in a decade.
We're deeply concerned both by the alarming levels of spread and severity and by the alarming levels of inaction.
The nation's leading infectious disease expert warning things are only going to get worse.
It is 10 times more lethal than the seasonal flu. I think that's something that people can get their arms around and understand.
Major universities like Ohio State and UCLA scrapping in-person classes. Big public gatherings canceled, changed, or banned. Now the NBA suspending the season after a player tested positive for the virus.
Anything that has large crowds is something that would give a risk to spread.
In a number of states, health authorities saying they don't have enough tests.
Right now, we're really limited, and the demand for testing far outweighs what the state's capacity is.
But the administration insisting
over 1 million tests are out, thanks to the diligent work of CDC and HHS. More than 4 million will go out this week.
Tonight, the White House also announced the president is canceling planned events in Nevada and Colorado out of an abundance of caution. And as for those travel restrictions, they do not apply to U.S. citizens coming home. Inez de la Cuerta, ABC News, Washington.
Now to breaking news, the CSUB women's basketball team's first matchup for the WAC tournament in Las Vegas now postponed, and a player from one of those teams hospitalized. 23 ABC's sports reporter Matt Lively joins us now in studio with the new details on this situation, which may or may not be related to the coronavirus. Matt?
That's right, Alex. The CSUB women's basketball team was supposed to play their first game of the WAC basketball tournament tonight against GCU. Instead, that game has been postponed until tomorrow due to what the WAC is calling a medical situation. Our sports director, Carrie Osep, is in Vegas at the tournament and brings us the latest details.
So there are a few weird things to see in a sports venue. That would be an empty court, empty seating, and of course, a lot of these disinfecting wipes. And that's because the issue of the coronavirus has hit right here in Vegas for the WAC tournament. And according to its commissioner, Jeff Hurd, this is something he's never seen before.
You know, really nothing even close to it. I've been in the business for roughly almost 45 years and never been run across anything like this. This is something that's obviously nationwide and has affected, I'd say in our situation, last 6 or 7 hours, the dominoes that have fallen it's incredible.
In an exclusive interview, but not on camera, Hurd confirmed that there was a person affiliated with one of the teams who had to be taken to a local hospital for examination pertaining to the coronavirus, but that the person was never in the Orleans arena. That is what led to the final women's quarterfinal featuring Cal State Bakersfield and Grand Canyon to be postponed until Thursday morning. If that game is to be played out, it could potentially be without any fans in the arena.
You know, sometimes you just don't expect it to hit you. You think that, you're left out and of all this madness that's going on, but it hit right here at home. And so we're prepared for it. And, I have great bosses behind me, and so they're keeping me calm and keeping me informed on what's going on.
As we're driving to Vegas today, every time you refresh social media, somebody new is canceling or saying no fans are allowed. So I think for us, that was the biggest concern. The health and safety of our student athletes and fans, I felt comfortable with, but we also knew all along that it's a fluid situation that could change.
While the focus will be on everyone's health and safety, if the game is to be played, Greg McCall will have his ladies ready.
Our preparation will still be the same. We'll come in full of energy, full of life, whether we have fans here. Hopefully we'll have some here, but whether we have fans here or not, so we'll be ready to play.
With the latest information from the Western Athletic Conference, the CSUB women's basketball team will be playing their quarterfinal game on Thursday morning. But ahead of that game, the WAC board will be meeting to decide how this tournament is going to be moving forward. From New Orleans Arena, I'm Carrie Osset for 23 ABC Sports.
Obviously, the health of those players and student athletes is the top priority, but if that game does get played tomorrow, it's scheduled for 9:30 a.m. Head coach Greg McCall said that the team has not practiced since yesterday morning. That would be Tuesday, and that was a morning practice, so it would be nearly 48 hours since his players touched the court, and it could be in front of an empty crowd. So we'll have to monitor that. Carrie will keep us updated on the situation in Vegas, and we will monitor it closely. Later in sports, I'll update you on the CIF basketball tournament and whether those games that were scheduled for this weekend will be played. In studio, I'm Matt Lively, 23 ABC Sports, connecting you.
Also confirmed tonight, a local nursing home changing their visitor policy, all as a precaution to protect their residents from any chance of getting infected with the coronavirus. Officials with the Evergreen Bakersfield Post-Acute Care, located on Tudor Way in Northeast Bakersfield, telling us they are no longer allowing visitors until further notice because of concerns over the coronavirus. The elderly, a population which make up most of the residents living at that facility, are, as the CDC officials say, the most vulnerable to the disease. Evergreen telling 23 ABC this policy change is necessary for resident health and safety. And as the coronavirus concerns and fears spread, there has been a major impact on the economy, including a huge rise in the sales of hand sanitizers and toilet paper. But now a new impact, a rise in gun sales. Reporter Nicole Comstock has more on how Asian Americans in Southern California fear they may be targeted because of their ethnicity amid rising fears of the spread of the coronavirus, and are now contributing to the rise of gun sales, all for their protection.
Gun sales are skyrocketing across the San Gabriel Valley.
Recently have been very busy.
David Liu says in recent weeks, 10 times more customers than usual have come through his doors at Arcadia Firearm and Safety.
Because of the coronavirus, a lot of people start to worry.
The area has a high concentration of Asian Americans, and Liu says his customers are afraid they'll be targeted because of their ethnicity if a local outbreak occurs.
Especially the media is telling them some Asian are being targeted, got assaulted. I do worry.
Danny Lim suited up with gloves and a mask to come buy a new gun for his wife. Why?
For upcoming event.
He says he wants his family to be able to defend themselves and fears that a financial crisis may lead to social disorder.
I hope and I pray it will never happen.
So we're thinking that it's better safe than sorry.
Well, I think it's the perfect time to get a weapon for ourselves.
Dirk Zhang says his wife would never allow a handgun in their home until now.
Because she's a little bit afraid of the outbreak and stuff of the virus.
When you prepare, you are not scared.
Liu has hand sanitizer and a sign at his front door asking people to stay out if they don't feel well. He's having a hard time filling orders as it is.
I'm having difficulty with my distributor to locate some of the ammunitions.
Wow.
That was Nicole Comstock reporting. 23 ABC and the Scripps national team will air a 30-minute special this Sunday night at 6 p.m. Coronavirus, the Facts will address important concerns like the potential economic impacts, and you will also see what it's like to have the virus and be stuck in quarantine. Coronavirus, the Facts airs right here on 23 ABC this Sunday.
Well, we have been seeing some calm conditions across Kern County this evening, but the low pressure system that brought that severe weather to us yesterday could continue to bring some wraparound moisture as we head into the remainder of the work week. But as of right now, we are looking at just some clouds in the sky and actually could be tracking some low hanging clouds in the mountains, mainly down near Tehachapi and down in the South Mountains. So not only that, but also the potential for fog, especially in the early morning hours. So if you do see any of that fog, make sure that you slow down, use those low beam headlights, and leave plenty of space between you and the car in front of you. It looks like that should be clearing out as we head into the mid-morning hours, but low pressure is going to be bringing heavy rain across the region yet again on Thursday. The potential for some isolated thunderstorms, but air quality remains in the good range with an AQI of 42. So we will be seeing calm weather to start the weekend, but another round of wet weather returns. I have more details on our next storm system coming up next.
In 2016, Measure K was passed, the Board of Trustees providing the district with the funds to build 2 pools for the Kern County High School district to use. But some teams are unable to practice there, and upcoming meets cannot be held there because of these repairs. 23 ABC's Imani Stevens joins us live in studio with the reaction from the district and coaches from local swim teams. Imani?
Yeah, Alex, the Kern High School District recently opened its aquatic complex, a facility built to host up to 8 teams in water and fit about 700 spectators on the stands. But today, crews were draining out the water out of the pool to complete repairs, and the district said the company that installed the pool are doing those repairs free of charge.
Typically, the water would be inside of the pool, but crews are draining the pool at the recently built Kern High School District Aquatic Complex on Old River and Berkshire Road in southwest Bakersfield. It's the first pool the district has built in 100 years, but the company that installed the pool had to come back out. The district says they first had to drain the pool and then repair unrounded edges on pool walls.
I'm just amazed that there has to be repairs at the center. I'm sorry that it happened because it affects greatly the teams that are there, plus all the teams that are going to compete this weekend and the practices.
In 2016, Kern County voted to pass Measure K, which allocated for construction in the school district. The Board of Trustees directed the district to set aside $20 million to build up to 2 pools. And according to the district, the aquatic complex did not go over budget. The district says the aquatic complex was about $14 million to build, leaving $6 million left over to build a second pool near Centennial High School. But that second pool has not been built yet. We spoke to Jan Graves, a swim coach and trustee on the board for the district, over the phone, and she says she's sure they're going to have to raise more money for the other pool.
This is a top-notch swimming complex, and it costs a little bit more money than expected. And so we wanted to build a good one, and so we did. And the next one will be just as nice, and I'm sure we'll have to raise funds or to make sure that we get a pool that is of equal quality.
But the district tells us they didn't want to build 2 pools at the same time and wanted to see what went well and what could be changed for a second pool. But these repairs could interfere with practices and upcoming swim meets.
I feel it should be up right now because it kind of messes with all the schools who have to practice there, because we have to move them to other places, because I believe they'll probably have to go to McMurtry, but that's already packed with 3 other schools at the time, so it's kind of just upsetting for the swimmers.
While the second pool has not been built yet, the district says they are evaluating how much another pool would cost and exploring multiple options such as design. The aquatic complex, built to host up to 8 teams in water and fit about 700 spectators on the stands, will be empty until the repairs are made and the center reopens.
According to the school district swim schedule for 2020, the next swim meet to be held at the aquatic complex will be March 18th for diving, and a swim meet on March 19th between Independence High School and Bakersfield Christian High School. Reporting live in studio, I'm Imani Stevens, 23 ABC News, connecting you.